Adjectives for each part of the program. So Todd's going to kind of give his vision, so you have those answers on the tip of your tongue. Okay? All right. Without further ado, Mr. Todd O'Connor.
Hey guys. So the bar is going to be, obviously a good revenue center for you guys because you have the ability to upsell, know your products, and have fun with the guests. Because obviously people are imbibing, they're letting loose. We all like to have a drink and let loose and relax a little bit. So you're in a good position with that. That being said, there's a lot of data dumping on you guys right now, and I understand that. We both understand that you're not going to retain everything, but you're going to need a couple keywords to go to just to explain things to your guests. How many of you guys are of age? To drink. How far have you guys gotten with wine or liquor or beer in your drinking career?
I love that.
It is a career.
It is.
So you're very green, which is you're new to it all, and that's fine. You got to start somewhere, and this is a great place to start. Because we are developing a program. I don't know if you guys had time to read what Bo put together for you about the ICE program and the history of the drinks and something like that. But you're in a unique spot because you have the ability to have resources around you that you might not have at your house or the corner bar or in Joe's Six Pack. We have a lot of knowledge here. That being said, I want to get into one drink specifically, and we can start with that. It's the Sazerac, and there's a deep history with this drink. It's a classic cocktail from the South, and it dates back to before the Civil War. And if someone comes in here and they're looking to escape, which this is what it is, escapism at its finest. They might have a cocktail, and you don't know what they don't know what they want, and you want to recommend something to them. I would go because they're in the South and it pairs well with a lot of foods. Is the Sazerac. How do you get into that?
I think that might be the only one I didn't give you any tasting notes on. We touched on it yesterday. Again, the Sazerac is the southern cocktail, besides specific in New Orleans. And it's the main things you want in a Sazerac. It's going to be very spirit forward. It's going to be rye whiskey. It's going to have absinthe rinse or some sort of anise. Some people use Herbsan. Some people use Pernod. Those are all like anise-based, basically absinthe standards. So we're going to use absinthe. And when I say rinse, I mean it's just going to coat the inside of the glass. And then Peychaud bitters is like, you have to have Peychaud bitters in the Sazerac. As far as serving goes, it is served neat. Because, a lot of these early apothecaries were like pushing their elixirs, their cure-alls, just like high-octane spirits, basically. Like everyone's bitters are like really good for you, but bitters generally are around 50% alcohol, sometimes 55% alcohol, which is why you can buy them in the store, because they're not non-potable. You can't like drink it. You're not gonna get a bottle of bitters in the store and at the grocery store and run them.
Yeah.
It's gonna be dangerous.
You guys know what he means when he says spirit forward?
All right, we'll go over that again. So again, did you get the drinking spirit? Okay. I think it's toward the end of the packet. I know it's mentioned a bunch of times. A spirit forward drink is going to be any drink that is basically all booze, like no juice involved. So those are drinks that we're going to, as bartenders, we stir instead of shaking, because you don't have that juice that you need to aerate. You just need to chill it and dilute it. So a Manhattan would be a very spirit-forward drink. A martini is a very spirit-forward drink, and an old-fashioned. So basically, any variations of those are going to be known as spirit-forward. And sometimes it does catch people off guard. So you can just be like, well, do you like the taste of your alcohol? Do you like So those are the two branches, would be spirit-forward cocktails and citrus cocktails. Or not citrus, but juice in general.
So you can use that as a tool at your table. So are you looking for something with more of a spirit forward, or are you looking for a juicy type of drink? And that's where your adjectives and your personalities will start to shine, is when you start to interact with the guests and you ask them those type of questions, because if they're looking for something very spirit forward, they need a drink. They want a drink. They want something to decompress and really taste it. And some people like that their palate, almost a burn to their palate. They enjoy that. So that's why they're looking for that. So if you know someone wants a spirit forward drink, you can almost joke around with them, like, "You drink tonight, don't you?" So
There's.
yeah.
And then just back to the Sazerac very quick. So we are using a split spirit of rye and cognac, which you don't see that often. However, rye whiskey was like the whiskey before the rise of bourbon. Most American whiskeys were rye. A lot of the great ones were made in Pennsylvania, like Michter's, which is back on the market these days. It's been revived. Rittenhouse rye, which we'll be carrying as well, which is a bottle of bond rye. It's excellent, especially for the price. So originally the Sazerac, or there's sort of an apocryphal tale, but originally it was made with cognac. So basically cognac and rye were the main spirits of the day. And New Orleans, being a port town, was very affluent, business was booming, everyone has money for their own ice. They're drinking Sazeracs, they're drinking a lot of cognac, like tons of cognac and tons of rye whiskey. Those were the two quintessential spirits. At that time, there was an epidemic of phylloxera, which wiped out a lot of grapes in France, and so cognac was, the price went up. It was a little pricey. Again, the tale goes that it was original cognac. When cognac was not available, the Sazerac became switched to rye. Historically, I don't know if that's correct. Again, this is just like a little background context, not necessarily super important.
And this is from like 1800s.
Yeah, this
1803.
This predates 1803, I think.
Yeah.
Because that was
Been around
before the
for a long
Sazerac
time.
was chill. Again, these things get muddy, especially when alcohol's involved. Spirits history is also full of it was done this, it was done this. However, David Wondrich is like the foremost cocktail historian in the world these days. He's an American, and he has a lot of information that says that New Orleans never ran out of cognac. However, in the spirit of that, and in the spirit of having the best Sazerac in town, we're still going to do a split spirit, 1 ounce cognac and 1 ounce of rye whiskey, which gives it a really excellent complexity that you don't get a lot of times. I always think of the Sazerac, if I'm going out to a new place, like the same way I feel about like Eggs Benedict. I'm going out to a new breakfast spot. I'm going to order it and I'm going to judge you on it, but I'm still going to eat it even if it's bad, because I love Eggs Benedict. How can you go wrong? So we're shooting for and I feel the same way about the Sazerac. Like, I'm going to judge you on your Sazerac. I'm like that. Sazerac's all right. I'm going to drink it because I like Sazeracs, but you might not respect it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's a good litmus test. So when people come here, if they especially, and a lot of people know the Sazerac these days too, like with the renaissance of the pre-prohibition cocktails, people will be, if they'll see it in the menu, they could they'll order it by name at the bar all the time, and we're going to have a really good one. So it's a very strong, spirit-forward cocktail. It's very aromatic from the absinthe in the glass. You're going to get like a lot of aroma of anise. Some people feel it's black licoricey. And we're serving it with a lemon twist. So when we do a twist, and I don't think these guys aren't in charge of garnishing their own drinks, right? In this bar.
I would prefer that you guys do
I would
that.
prefer bar too, because the things
Right.
are sharp. So twist is going to be like a swath of the outside of the lemon peel, or you can use orange, or you can use lime. see a lot of orange and lemon twists coming out from the bar. So to do that, we're going to just peel it with a vegetable peeler. So you don't want like a whole lot of the pith, the white part from the inside. You just want the outside of the skin. And then we're going to do something called expressing and inserting. And to express, you're going to squeeze. You'll see squeeze the twist with the skin side out, and that sprays the oil onto the surface of the drink. So, like in the old fashioned, we're going to use an orange twist. So you're going to, when you nose the drink, you're going to get an orange on the palate and back of your tongue. But when you taste it, it's not going to taste like orange juice. It's just that layer of oil. It gives it a lot of aroma. So the Sazerac's going to be extremely aromatic between the absinthe and the twist being expressed on top. What was I going to say? And again, I think we touched briefly on the Demerara. If you see that on the menu again, and people may ask, like, what is Demerara? Like, what is this word? It's just a sweetener. It's a very rich syrup. Like it's a rich, simple syrup made from sugar in the raw, like carbonado sugar. So you can just assure people that it's a sweetener that goes very well with brown spirits. There's only like a quarter ounce in there. It's just a splash. It's not an overly sweet drink. And the same with the old fashioned. It's going to be very spirit forward, not quite as aromatic, but definitely you're going to get the orange twist, and that's going to be sweetened with Demerara as well. Did anyone have any specific questions from yesterday?
No questions from yesterday?
Barefoot and Bright Eyed, you said that there was like a shot.
Orgeat, yes. So you can cross out, what does it say, lemon syrup and club soda?
Yeah, but like how do you pronounce it? Like
Orgeat.
Orgeat?
Like O-R-Z-H-A-T. Orgeat. And again, that's an almond and citrus-based syrup.
So you guys recognize that he was just talking about one drink, right? And this isn't his job, this is his career. So he's put a lot of time in learning the craft. I expect you guys to be as educated as he is at some point, not right away, but this only helps you with your guests. The pre-prohibition cocktails are something that you guys should learn. I think I went over with the support staff, but you're in a unique opportunity to learn all this stuff, and it only helps you farther down in your life because you're comprehending things, and you're also having something in your belt of tools to have a party or just talk to someone about cocktails. You even get into the ingredients of the Sazerac, of the whiskeys and the bourbons. And some of the presidents of the United States, they used to barter on the ingredients that were involved in this. So there's a lot of history that go behind all of these drinks. And you're lucky to have Bo behind the bar because he's patient. And I've worked with people that are not patient, so use him as a resource.
Ask me, and if you ever think, I'm not sure about this thing, please feel free to ask me.
Yeah.
And again, not to dad and dump too much, but I know someone was asking about whiskey yesterday, and different types of whiskey. I think a good thing, there's kind of an easy, like an ABC, D, E, F, G to remember as far as American bourbon goes. And I don't think I can even rattle it off without a pen in my hand. A is for American. So there's differences between whiskey. All whiskey's whiskey, not all whiskey's bourbon. We're gonna have some Scotch whiskey. We're gonna have a little bit of Irish whiskey. We're focusing on American whiskeys, and bourbon is like, since bourbon took over from rye, bourbon is like the quintessential American whiskey. And so A is for American. It's got to be a whiskey made in America. If it's a Kentucky whiskey, it has to be specific bourbon must be aged in for at least 2 years in a charred new white oak barrel. You don't need all those words, but just know it's been barrel aged for at least 2 years. C is for corn. Bourbon has to be at least 51% corn, whereas a rye would be 51% rye in the mash bill. If anyone was here for the whiskey tasting the other day, we tasted like the Basil Hayden's had like that additional barley in it, which gave it that really nice kind of sweet flavor. The makers had like additional wheat, gave it a super soft wheatness, and then ryes are generally spicy. But a bourbon has to be at least 51% corn. That is for C. D. D I don't remember, but it's not super important. E is for, actually the next couple things aren't super important either. E is for entry level. That just means like the whiskey has to be, before it goes into the barrel, it has to be at least 62.5% ABV. And ABV is alcohol by volume. I think we can talk about that a little bit for beers and wines too. And then F is for the final proof. It has to be at least 40% alcohol when it's shipped to the store. Basically, any of your hard liquors like vodkas, rums, like tequilas, everything's got to be 40% alcohol, which is known as 80. You guys have heard these terms before, right? Yeah. So that's all that. So yeah, F is for final proof. It's got to be at least 40%. Generally, bourbons are a higher proof than 80, but we got some other ones. And then G is for, I don't know the word, but the meaning of G is that nothing can be added to it besides water, basically. So those are the rules of bourbon. The ones you really want to remember are just that it's barrel aged, it's 51% corn, it's made in America, and nothing's added besides water. Right? Once you start adding flavors or sugars or anything, that's something old. It can't be called bourbon.
Fireball.
Yeah, it's Fireball. if you had lofty ice or
Can you have a Fireball cider?
Ugh.
Okay, so thank you for that. And then I wanted to talk about beer. I mean, obviously beer is a whole other animal. But I want to give you guys a couple references or words to describe beer so you can interact with guests. First, I want to malty. Malty is like a richer beer, rich in malts, a little sweeter. Typically, your porters or your stouts can be maltier. Another word I want you guys to know is hoppy. Hoppy is like an IPA. It's very citrusy or spicy. Usually a lot of hints of grapefruit. And crisp is another word I want you guys to use. That's for beers that are high in carbonation. So I'm trying to think of a crispy beer. Daisy Cutter, you ever heard that? Daisy Cutter's a very crisp beer. And then aggressive. Aggressive, going back to what Bo was talking about, aggressive is a bolder, higher octane beer with a higher ABV. Do you guys know what ABV is? Right. So a lot of times people come in and that's what they look for. I do that too. I'm like IPA, high octane.
The highest ABV.
That's right there. That's what I want. And obviously good flavor. And I will judge an IPA just like you judge. Expeditive. That's a great reference. So again, aggressive, crisp, hoppy, malty. Get those 4 words into your vocabulary, and when we start bringing beers in, we'll taste them and we'll say that one's carbonated or that one's malty. But
You said multi is sweeter, but like in what way?
it's rich. Describe malty.
Well, it's malted barley.
Yeah.
Because do you guys remember the 4 ingredients to beer? First one's water. Uh-huh.
Barley,
Uh-huh.
hops,
Uh-huh.
yeast.
Yes, excellent. So it's water, malted barley, hops, and the yeast. So according to German beer law, those are the 4 things you must have to be considered a beer. So yeah, the malt is again. Whoever was here for the beer tasting the other day, what was that guy's name?
Tom.
Tom from Evolution. He had that great little packet. When the beer starts out, it is just water and the malt, and that makes the wort, which is the very sweet malty liquid. Sorry, backing up. Before you throw the malts in, it's originally barley, and barley is put into an oven to dry, and that's known as the malting process. That the heat is converting sorry.
It makes more sense though, like what I just.
Basically, the more thanks. When the malting process is drying out the barley, and if you keep it in the oven longer, it gets darker, and when you use that malted barley, it's going to make like a darker beer versus like a lighter malt.
And you
So
get
that-
into fermentations and like ales are they're fermented.
Top fermented.
Yeah, they're warmer, and then the what is it?
Lagers are
The
fine.
lagers are cold, right? Yeah, so the lager fermented. But that's stuff that just like the cocktails, you learn as you go, and you'll be able to differentiate the types of beers. And that's my job, is to teach you guys about beer and what types of beers, explaining it to the tables. So.
Getting back to your actual question, we're digressing a little bit. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So basically, you guys are familiar with the bitterness of the hop, right? The thing that balances that, or they balance each other, is the sweetness of the malt. So when you start out in this process, before the hops go in, that wort is like a very sweet liquid. So the bitterness from the hops counteract or balance out the sweetness of the malts, and the sweetness of the malts keep the hops from getting too bitter. So I always like a really balanced IPA, like a nice Midwest, like Bell's Two Heart or something. I like a sweeter, like a heavier malt in a beer that has a lot of hops in it.
So you probably like double, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Imperial.
Yeah, the
bigger, yeah.
the bigger and more.
And we'll get it. Imperial IPAs are.
It's tough when we're not tasting things right now.
Yeah, it is. It's easier to drink and tell you about this. But no, an Imperial IPA it's that balance. It's more malty, but there's still those citrusy blends. You can still taste it, but it's higher in ABV. I mean, I've had Imperial IPAs that have been 16%, which is they serve it in a 16 or 6 ounce glass, and they get you. I mean, you can't. It's not like you're chugging it, you sip on it, it still gets you. And we're going to bring those in as time goes on, and availability and the relationships that we build with the beer guys. They'll start giving us rare products, and that will drive business in here because this neighborhood west of here is full of a lot of beer nerds, and our job is to get them in here. My job is to get them in here. Your job is theirs. So.
Yeah, I think those. What were the 4 things you mentioned?
Crisp, poppy, malty, and aggressive.
Those are some great buzzwords. And the more that we taste, the more you'll be able to pick. Like these aren't really flavors that you can pick out from like a Miller High Life. Honestly, you're not gonna be like, oh,
Because they're not.
if only there was a little more malt.
Yeah, I mean you can describe a High Life as crisp, right?
Yeah,
Because
definitely. You can use that word.
it's highly carbonated. other questions? You guys, next up is Bev&Co. Are you guys familiar with what Bev&Co is? It's a way of checks and balances. So they actually come in and weigh bottles, measure everything, make sure that spills are recorded, comps are recorded, voids are recorded. Do you guys know the difference between a comp and a void? Because this is pretty crucial. A comp is the house extending, you know, our southern hospitality and buying someone a drink. A void is something that's not made. And then I guess we'll have a spill category too, is if you spill something and it just goes to waste. So, just waving at me, just stretching. You get it. So, you know, there's a point where I say, hey, I want to comp that drink. You know, we'll take care of it at the end and move over comps and voids and everything like that. But you'll see that we have no problem, and Harry's extended this to myself and you guys, is that we have no problem buying people a drink or, you know, letting them sample anything. So you guys are an extension of that. So you guys are empowered to give samples of beer, not so much of liquor. Not really.
It's not a thing.